So recently here, I've been getting back into carrying more like modern folding knives, like modern locking folders with like my Hogue Deca, and I've just recently gotten back into carrying like my Para 3. I'll do a video on that probably next week or so, showing some stuff that I did to that. I'm not done with it yet, so I'm not gonna do a video on that until I'm done with it. But I was on, I think, Bladehq looking at Wii knives, and this popped up, and I thought it was really cool looking because it kind of reminded me of like I don't know, like a 21st century Barlow kind of almost, like just the way it looks. But this is a Civivi, not a Wii, and this is the Civivi Banneret or Banneret. I'm not sure how it's supposed to be pronounced. It's spelled like Banneret. I don't know if they were going for like a French name, in which case it would be like Banneret or something. But of course, Civivi is a Chinese company, so I'm gonna say it's Banneret because I'm gonna guess none of them speak French. But anyway, cool looking knife. Comes in a couple different versions. There's this one, which is like the black. I'm gonna call this a bolster. The black bolster and blade, and this green canvas micarta, which is obviously the one I went with. There's also a black G10, a non like coated bolster, and a non coated blade. With my modern knives, I like having a coated blade because it wears and shows some wear and everything. And when you carry and use the knife for a while, it'll show the fact that you do that. Just like the reason why I like carbon steel in my traditional knives, because it really shows that you do, in fact, use that knife. So this is a pretty cool knife. It's, like I said, kind of like the way I would look at it is kind of like a 21st century Barlow. Like if somebody did a Barlow not based on a Barlow before, but using a similar concept, because this is kind of like a bolster here. It's like the same general shape. It is quite a bit larger than a standard Barlow would be, obviously. Um, but, similar shape, similar like look to it. And then it's got a flipper tab here. It flips open really smoothly and everything, like most of these Civivi knives do. I believe it's running on some sort of ball bearings, like again, most of these Civivi knives are. Um, the blade is a really cool looking, I believe, modern knife. People call this a drop point. It's also a spear point if you're into traditional pocket knives. So it's a spear point or a drop point, depending on uh, what kind of knives you like, pretty much. But anyway, it's made by Civivi. Civivi has really gotten away from their weird like color thing they used to do. They used to do like weird colored liners and stuff, and it seems like they've gotten away from that a little bit, which is cool. For people who want a more serious knife. I don't necessarily mind having colored liners, but I do like this knife the way that it is. The green canvas micarta is fairly rough feeling. It's not super smooth like some of the like Rough Riders and stuff. Micarta is, so it does actually provide some grip, so that's nice. I do like the Civivi pivot uh, as much as I like the Wii one as well. Just the fancy little pivot that just has like a symbol on it, and then you don't brandish the rest of the knife with the company name. So I like that. It's a really simple thing. Pocket clip, deep carry pocket clip. That's nice for people who like deep carry. I'm not necessarily a huge fan of deep carry, but with some knives, I like it because it keeps it um, more out of the way when I reach into my pocket to get other things other than my knife. But it is a little bit of a pain in the butt to get your knife out sometimes, I find, especially if you're wearing gloves or something. But then again, I carry traditional pocket knives that I usually have to reach the whole way into my pocket for, so it's really not that annoying. The blade steel on this is, I believe, Nitro V. which is something I've never heard of before. Wow, I've heard of it, but I don't really know what it is. I don't have any kind of crazy experience with it or anything. So I don't know exactly like the details on how it stands up to like M390 or any of the other like higher end steels. So I'm not sure. I assume it's, similar, but I'm not entirely sure. Um, this is a fairly large knife, as you can tell from my hands. I do have really large hands. Let me show it next to something that, since I have it here, that most people will know. Suck at left hand opening that. So this is pair 3. Yeah, I'll do a video on this once I'm done doing it. But it's quite a bit bigger than the pair 3, as you can see there. And for you traditional knife people, I have another knife over here that I can compare it to quick. This is a Rough Rider denim micarta sunfish or elephant toe, whatever you want to call it. And it's quite a bit, it's bigger, it's longer than that too. So it is a fairly large knife, but it's pretty thin and everything. So I think it'll fit in my pocket real well. It's nice in hand. The pocket clip doesn't bother my hand or anything. Maybe if I was using it all day, like if I had a job where I literally just cut things all day, the pocket clip might bother me, but just holding it for, little tasks, it's not going to bother me. Really smooth, like ball bearing action like you would expect. Really nice flip and everything. And this is technically a frame lock, I suppose, because it is thicker up there, and this is the frame and not a liner. So it is a frame lock, so I like that. I prefer frame lock to a liner lock, because some liner locks are a little more like flimsy. I don't want to say flimsy, but if you hold them really tight, your finger fat will move the liner a little bit and allow the blade to move a little bit. Whereas a frame lock doesn't do that, and obviously like a access lock or a compression lock don't do that as well. So I'm pretty happy with this knife. It retails for around $100. This version. There is a Damascus steel version with, I think, carbon fiber handles, which I'm not into. I'm not really a big fan of Damascus. I don't really understand it. I think it looks kind of goofy, to be honest. So I'm not really about that Damascus. So I just want standard, black coated blade. But yeah, I'm pretty happy about this knife. I'm excited to start carrying it and using it and seeing how I feel about it, because I think that this might become one of my favorite modern knives, just because it's really, I like the shape of it and everything, and I like the way it looks, and I do like the action, although that's not really the most important thing to me, but I do really like the way it looks. So this may be one of my more carried modern folders, so we'll see. But anyway, that's going to be the video on this CIVIVI Banneret or Banneret. I'm not sure exactly what the name's supposed to be, but I do like the knife so far, and I am going to plan on carrying it tonight and hopefully for a little while. So maybe there'll be an update video, or maybe I'll do an actual knife review for the first time in like 2 years. We'll see. But that's going to be it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one, and I hope you have a good day.